Hello there guys, it's Tonka here, and we're here today with another map breakdown. Today we're here on Sylvan Cliffs. This is a new map by SubAtomicPanda, and it's more of a throwback towards the original Racewall maps. So we're going to go straight into this, and we head straight into a normal water drop with some basic resources coming in straight away. Nothing too fancy. However, the only issue I have with the start as it currently stands is these three little babies here, the minecarts with TNT. I do think they're very overpowered for this stage in the map. I feel like the map is very well balanced around TNT. You don't actually see it until quite late on in the map. However, these minecarts with TNT, well, are quite literally very explosive, and I managed to come up with a very basic minecart cannon which could take out the majority of those diamond resources like within 30 seconds or so of jumping down. So it seems a bit too strong for the way the map has been balanced, and overall I don't think they're needed at all. I feel like it, they don't actually they like take away a lot more than they actually add to the map. So if minecarts with TNT do wish to be put in the map, I would definitely say they would have to be placed alongside the rest of the TNT. So that's something that I think is currently a medium flaw of the map, and I would like to see it addressed before, proper play, as it kind of ruins a lot of kind of strategies very quickly, as like a simple minecart cannon can totally deter a team away from a resource-based strategy, and kind of encourages teams to go more for a rush-based strategy, or just it really does block off a certain style of play. Other than that, the start of the map is really interesting. The resources are very nicely done. I do think that kind of the time put in to the reward got out is very nicely rewarded. At the start, you have your coal. It takes you like a little bit to get through to your iron and your gold, and finally, if you spend enough time to get there, you are rewarded with a good amount of diamond. So it is quite nicely balanced, and I feel like that is something that's overall done fairly well on this map, is the balancing of all items, equipment, and I feel like that's something that's been put quite a decent amount of time in. Outside of that, at the start here we have the entrance to first wall. It's quite a nice wall. It's mainly PvE, but very open, so it's susceptible to a lot of PvP action, especially since where it is so close to the start, players can easily get back and forth here just by getting to and from the start. So it should be pretty challenging even without the PvP action, but with PvP added in, this is going to be a very challenging wall. So the aim of this wall is to light up 3 different beacons by switching the lever, and there are 3 of them total, and upon doing that you open up the gateway to the pink wall. So it's not the most of complicated walls, but in practice, in execution, I can imagine it being very challenging and tough for players to both defend and try and collect. Moving on from there, uh, we have an array of resources around this area, uh, some stronger than others. Most notable of all is this sort of area here. You have an extra diamond block, a bit of iron and gold, but more importantly you have an array of potions. So these can be used in all manner of ways, and I do think there's something that will kind of be challenged quite a lot, as well as a bunch of other bits and bobs to reward players if they so choose to come this way. Moving on from there, we have the second wall, the entrance to which is found through this little well. Um, so this is quite purely a PvP wall, and I do like what SubAtomicPanda has done in this PvP wall here. So upon entering, you're immediately faced with a drop into lava. So you have to deal with that by either making a safe way down, or water dropping, ladder dropping, or just simply falling onto this block here. However, with the amount of water and the lava backings, this is a new kind of way of taking on the kind of trivial difficulties that have surrounded PvP walls as of late, with the use of doors and just the lack of there's almost a security for the person collecting the wall that it was almost a guaranteed wall PvP walls as of late, where defenders couldn't really do much if a simple door was put up and an array of blocks were placed around it. That is still possible in this, but it has been made a lot harder with a array of different tricks from lava, water, buttons, and the overall length I think is quite nice, just long enough to be tricky and doesn't allow a person to just either uh, you know just rush it or sneak through, but at the same time you're not going to be spending your whole life here, and you don't have the risk of just at some point like dying to it, even though you may have played it really well. It is a good enough length that it rewards both attackers and defenders. Upon completing that, there is quite an interesting tower that rewards players. However, it also does challenge the player if they do not come in prepared, because there are both cave spiders and witches to be found in here. However, if the players do make their way past them, they are rewarded with an enchantment table, as well as the enchanting supplies needed to get some basic enchantments on the way. So players that choose this route do so at their own risk. Something that I found, I'm still not entirely sure of my opinion of this. To gain access to the third wall, there's kind of like a big drop, as you can see. I'm not entirely sure of my opinion. I have kind of mixed feelings about this. I feel like it does restrict players, like it allows a player to get here and if they kill their opposing member, they have kind of more of a clean access to this third area, which can be locked down pretty easily, I believe, if a setup was done correctly, since the drop and the amount of supplies that are around here does kind of give an advantage to a person who gets here and gains control of this area first. However, it's something that I am not entirely sure of, because I feel like things can be done around it in play, so it's not something I'd want to see changed, but it's something that kind of strikes to mind when I first saw this area. Now, looking into this, we have graves with an array of golden armor and well, anything you want really. You get a whole set of golden armor with various enchantments, which you'd think would make this third wall pretty easy. However, that is not the case. There are a large selection of mobs to be found in here, ranging from skeletons to silverfish to creepers. You name it, this wall has it. And whilst I do really like the difficulty of this starting area, I feel this wall falls short when you get past the first kind of long stretch. Whilst I do like the attempt that this that SubAtomicPanda has tried here, the problem with vertical parts of PvE walls is that they can be so easily avoided. Whilst I do agree, I would like to see a perfectly done vertical PvE. There are so many difficulties around it. Like, the idea behind a vertical PvE is that it's the most challenging way to do PvE. You're both trying to make progress upwards whilst having to battle with mobs, and you can see how that is like appealing to a map maker. However, simply by breaking into the wall and then blocking yourself off, you can slowly make progress upwards without being in any real danger and just avoiding kind of a decently sized section of this wall. Doing so, you are rewarded with the yellow wall, and you gain access to all three walls by that. That is the main part of that third wall. There are some extra resources at the end, iron block and some diamond. However, that is the majority of this map. Other than that, the only other thing that I feel I have yet to show is the Victory Monument. There's nothing overly special about it. It's, you know, pretty simplistic. Oh, I fell zooming past it. We have a pink wall, cyan wall, yellow wall. Other than that, guys, this has been Sylvan Cliffs. I feel like it's mapped with good promise. I feel like there's a few things that have to be sorted, and you know, I feel like with more playtesting and even some proper game experience, this map could improve a lot very quickly, especially if SubAtomic puts the time into making these fixes. But anyway, guys, it's been Tonka. Peace.